tonight's awakenings. Let's rise together.
Laid bare shadows collide, hidden truths in the tide, a spark in the dark, it glows. Illuminate, illuminate, through the fog the stars awake. Illuminate, illuminate the path you seek, the steps you take. Thunder rolls, whispers rise, the deck unfolds, no disguise. Light cracks the veil, it shows. What's unseen now inside? What's unseen now inside? What's unknown now ignite. Illuminate, illuminate, through the fog the stars awake. Illuminate, illuminate the path you seek, the steps you take.
Oops, we had a little scene switching problem. Ooh, let me turn on the radio too. You might want to do that. Morning, my loves. How is everybody today? I gotta tell you, I am super excited to be here this morning. Because I didn't do the show last week, I was gonna redo the reading, and then I read over it and went, no, this is perfect for these guys today. And so, morning, Bubble Kittens. Morning, Micah. Morning, Cash. It is good to see you guys. All right. Let me shake it off. I'm in a mood this morning, but it is a great mood. So, for those of you who have not been here before, let me explain what we do. I'm going to go through a full Celtic cross reading with you, but we go into very detailed descriptions of the cards so that we can all learn about tarot. And one thing that I want to make sure that I point out to you about tarot readings is I'm not here to predict your future. I'm not here to tell you what your life's going to be and this and that. And that's a miss. I mean, there are some tarot readers or whatever that will do that, but that's not me. When it comes to the cards, we all need to understand that tarot cards have a lesson. Each card has a lesson, and they're all things that we all go through in life, and they help us to illuminate the things that we are doing wrong, or illuminate the things that we need to work on, or the things that we're doing right. I mean, it's basically just giving you some help and some guidance. And then after we finish the reading, we're going to take one card, which we do every week, and we're going to go into full detail about what that card means upright, reversed, and the trauma bonds and everything else that goes along with it, all in a way to try and help us all learn some things about ourselves and gain some knowledge. And then after the fact, I have a little thing to say or whatever at the end of the reading. I have this book of shadow work cards sitting here, so anybody who wants me to pull a card for them, I will. Just doesn't matter if you're listening on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, whichever one. If you pop it in the comments that you want a card, I will give you one after the fact. So that being said, let me say one other thing. When it comes to tarot readings, it's not always about you. Sometimes it's about somebody else. Each card individually, one can be about you and the next one not. So take what resonates, learn from it, and what doesn't resonate with you, let it go. It belongs to somebody else. All right, so I suppose we should get started. I probably should put my glasses on so I can see, right? All right, guys, let us get into this big reading for today. All right, we are starting off our day with the Hierophant. And we're using that weird Ostera deck today. So I'm going to give the descriptions on the traditional Rider-Waite because the symbolisms do mean something, but these do look a little bit different. But all right, today, so we're talking about the Hierophant. This is in the present position. This is tradition, conformity, and belief systems. A masked figure holds a flame of knowledge and beckons you into a mysterious inner sanctum. The Hierophant is known as the High Priest in some decks. He represents established social structures and spiritual traditions. He is a source of knowledge outside of us and teaches us what can be learned by word and by example. If the Hierophant has appeared in your reading, you may be feeling the need for a deeper sense of meaning in your life. You feel a call to learn or to be part of something, whether that something is a group of people, an established institution, or a spiritual practice. The Hierophant in reverse indicates that you are now questioning traditional beliefs and the status quo. If you feel pressure to conform, but you do not agree with the belief systems upheld by the group, you need to shake things up for yourself in order to enjoy more spontaneity and freedom in your life. This archetype is the teacher, the gatekeeper, sacred tradition, spiritual law, and institutional structure. I'm going to have trouble speaking again today, I can tell already. All right, so on the traditional Rider-Waite, there's a triple cross staff, which stands for mind, body, spirit alignment under divine authority. There's two acolytes kneeling before him, which symbolize initiation, discipleship, and mentorship. There are keys at his feet, which are the access to hidden knowledge and spiritual permission. He wears a red robe of authority and spiritual passion. In this placement, you are currently confronting your belief systems. This could be relationship standards, moral codes, spiritual doctrines, or what commitment actually means to you. Do you follow tradition or redefine it? Are you honoring yourself or just repeating conditioning? The shadow side of this card is staying in something because that's what you're supposed to do, outsourcing authority to others or spiritual bypassing under the guise of higher purpose. Your nervous system is conditioned to safety, the comfort of familiar structure, even if it's restricted. Your advice here is reclaim your authority, keep your wisdom, discard rigidity. You are allowed to rewrite the rules. Michael's not here today to tell me that English are hard, but apparently English are hard again for me today. All right, so in the challenge position, your challenge for the week, this is temperance. This is balance, equilibrium, wisdom, and peace. Predator and prey burst forth from a box clasped in a woman's hands. Everything in this world hinges on nuances of balance. Where something is taken, it must be given. Light is necessary to cast shadow. Temperance appears to encourage you to maintain equilibrium, as you have so far. You are praised for your thoughtfulness and peaceful nature. It takes developing a special thoughtfulness to understand the duality of the world and to accept your place within it. Access your inner knowledge to answer your queries and trust yourself. This is the card of self-reflection and careful planning. An aspect of, if reversed, an aspect of your life has been thrown off balance. Delicate attention is required in order to correct this disruption and restore equilibrium once more. You can trust your instincts if you feel that something is coming at too high of a cost. Perhaps it is time to consider the distribution of your energies to ensure that they are organized where they are most needed. The archetype of this card is the alchemist, divine balance, emotional regulation. The symbols on the rider waite are an angel with one foot in the water and one on the land. Subconscious plus conscious integration. Two cups pouring into each other. Energy exchange and blending. Path to the rising sun, long-term healing journey. And the red triangle on his chest is divine spark embodied in matter. The meaning in this position is your challenge is emotional moderation, not extremes, not impulsive cuts, not martyrdom. This is asking, can you integrate instead of react? The shadow side of this is overgiving, emotional suppression disguised as peacekeeping and spiritual superiority. This card challenges anxious, overmerging, and avoidant detachment. Your advice here is slow the chemistry down. Your situation requires sacred processing. All right. The root this week is our buddy death. This is endings or new beginnings, change, and transformation. A skeletal vulture crouches between branches as a new leafing vine sprouts from its eyes. The death card does not necessarily symbolize a literal death of any sort, but is rather a more positive harbinger of change. This card tells us that we need to let go of old habits and ways of thinking in order to allow for more rewarding patterns to emerge in our lives. If you resist the changes, there may be some pain, but if you embrace them and trust that life has something better in store, a profound experience awaits you. If reversed, the death card suggests that you are afraid of change and have been resisting it. As a result, your life has perhaps become somewhat stagnant and uninspired. You need to let go of any unproductive attachments and trust in change to deliver you where you need to go. This archetype is transformation, ego death, and end of identity. The symbols on the rider waite are a white rose flag, symbolizing purity of transformation, a fallen king whose ego was dethroned. The sun rising between the towers is rebirth and is inevitable, and the river is the emotional transition. The meaning at the root of this is something fundamental has already ended, not just a relationship, but a whole version of you. This isn't about will it come back, it's about who you are becoming now. The shadow can be clinging to a dead identity, fear of change, or resisting grief. The trauma lens is old attachment patterns are dying. Your advice here, grieve fully. Don't resurrect though what's meant to compost. I'm going to take a look at the chat here for a second. Nice, that was a tongue breaker and you just slid it. I didn't even notice. I am having trouble with my speech again this morning. I don't know what in the world is going on. It seems like every time I come on to do the show, it's like blah, 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 blah. All right. Next up, we have in our past influences our old friend, the Queen of Cups. This is intuition, imagination, creativity, and empathy. The Queen swims towards the light. The Queen of Cups represents powerful, intuitive wave of your life. Frequently, it presents itself as a strong female or a creative moon. The Queen brings a strong connection with subconscious desires and the ability to empathize with others. Be sure not to lose yourself to the needs of others who may come to you for aid. Creativity and imagination are powerful traits in the presence of the Queen, and now may be the ideal time to pour your energies into a new work, project, or hobby. If reversed, you may be disconnected and out of sync with the needs of yourself or others. You have likely become too wrapped up in your own imagination. Get out of your head a little, but take care not to rely too much on the approval of others. The archetype of this is the divine feminine and emotional mastery. In the rider waite, the symbols are a closed ornate cup, which symbolizes a protected heart. The water behind her symbolizes emotional depth. The throne on the shore is grounded sensitivity. breathe there. Am I talking fast today? Is that what it is? Okay, let me slow down. Whew. All right. So, I don't know what is wrong. I am in a great mood, and I have not been in a great mood in a while, so that might just be all just coming out. Who knows? All right, so the meaning with this is you led with emotional wisdom. You loved deeply, but intuitively. But the shadow said that you were your emotional overextension. You were in fixer mode and you were mothering your partners. Keep the empathy, but lose the emotional labor. Thank you, Cash. All right, so up next in the conscious goal, we have our buddy the magician. Definitely a good conscious goal. This is power, concentration, intellect, and dedication. A figure emerges from a watery labyrinth and beckons a lone traveler through the twists and turns into the center. The magician appears in a reading at an important time. Now is the moment when you have the power and ability to create a new life for yourself. You are now fully able to manifest your desires. You are a powerful force in the world, and you must use your power or let it languish. This card calls for intense concentration. You need to channel all of your resources towards your goal and not get distracted by different pursuits. There is a power in your dedication and focus. If reversed, the magician warns of powers gone untapped. Perhaps you are not living up to your true potential. There may be something that you know you are very good at, but you have not allowed yourself to fully explore this talent. Wow. Okay, you guys wait till my talk. Let me finish this card and then I'll tell you. You need to find opportunities for yourself to shine. Stop doubting yourself. You are better than that. Before I get into the Rider-Waite explanation of Mr. Magical Magician, I will tell you that this is the reading that I wrote for last week when I didn't do the show. But I read over it again last night and I thought, no, this is good. This is good. This is good for today. And now, then some events have happened this morning, and this just really touched me. So we'll get into that after. But I'm going to try really hard not to cry through this reading today, but I'm feeling it, man. All right, so the archetype is the manifester, willpower, and personal power. The symbols on the Rider-Waite are the infinity symbol, which is limitless potential. The table with all four suits because you have all the tools. Wand to sky, hand to earth, channeling divine into physical. Red and white clothing stands for passion and purity. The meaning in this is you want your control back. You want to create deliberately, and you are done being reactive. The shadow of this is manipulation, trying to manifest someone instead of manifesting the alignment and the overthinking strategy. Your advice here, manifest alignment, not a person. All right. Next up, in the near future, we have another old friend, the Eight of Wands. This is speed, action, movement, and swift change. 8 green-leafed wands emerge from the heart of a peregrine falcon. I can't say that word either. The 8 of Wands signifies freedom and space. You are unburdened by previous challenges and are full of energy for your activities. This card is all about speed. You can expect to be very busy and efficient, and this will be a pleasant feeling as you are enthusiastic and making progress towards your goals. Reversed, it often signifies significant delays. You are facing obstacles and are growing impatient. You will have to be creative to find a new alternative ways to overcome these challenges. All right, so the symbols on the Rider-Waite are 8 wands that are flying. You guys have seen it a million times. This indicates fast movement. An open sky indicates that there are no obstructions. The meaning here is communication, rapid developments, quick clarity, and this is movement after stagnation. The shadow, impulsive messages, emotional texting, and reactivity. Your advice, respond, do not chase. All right. Next up, we have the lovely Knight of Cups. This is motivation, inspiration, subconscious, practical application. This is you currently. The Knight sails in a flying boat with her face turned towards Ursa Major, the Bear constellation. The Knight of Cups often shows itself through an event or a person in your life. Typically, the Knight is a motivational win or a sign of inspiration. Pay close attention to the messages your dreams may carry and delve into your creative passions. It is the time to uncover the wisdom of your subconscious and take lessons from the fantastic. However, be sure to apply them realistically. If reversed, this is an emotional period for you. You have recently allowed yourself to delve too deeply into a relationship or a project and are now coming back to reality. Be patient, and this potentially overwhelming phase will pass. All right, this is your romantic armor. The archetype of this is romantic idealist and emotional seeker. The symbols on the Rider Waite are still water, which equal emotional depth, a white horse, which is purity of intention. The cup extended forward is offering love. The fallow, the shadow of this is falling for potential, fantasy bonding, or projecting. Trauma lens on this can be anxious, preoccupied energy when unbalanced. Your advice here, be the knight, but don't rescue the dragons. That was a big one. All right, guys. Next up in your external energy, this is the Eight of Cups. Disappointment, meditation, reevaluation, and lessons learned. A lone bird sits, and this is what did I say this is it's external energy? Yeah, it's hard. All right, a lone bird sits atop an isolated cliff. The Eight of Cups is a solitary card. You may be feeling disappointed in your efforts with a relationship or a project. It is time to pull away from others and clear your head. Carefully consider your endeavors. Meditation will help you decide whether to push forward or to move on. Remember, everything is a learning experience. If reversed, you are lost in a problem with no clear solution. At this time, you may have no proper resolution, and all you can do is experiment to find what will work best. Often, you may feel dissatisfied, but keep trying to move forward. The symbols on the Rider Waite are a figure walking away under the moon. This is because of emotional disillusionment. The stacked cups are missing one because something is incomplete. The meaning here is someone emotionally withdrew or is in the process of walking away from something unfulfilling. This is abandonment energy. The shadow is silent exits, emotional avoidance, or leaving instead of repairing. The advice, let those who walk, walk. Facts. All right. Where was I? Next, in your hopes and fears, we have, after the Eight of Cups, we have Nine of Cups. This is the accomplishment, the pride, the indolence, the indulgence, and the rest. A woman is comfortably curled atop a pile of large cats. The Nine of Cups is the card of fulfillment. This card represents a state of pride, like that of the acknowledgement of hard work. This card may also suggest that it is time to treat yourself and indulge in high-ticket item you've been planning for. Or perhaps allow yourself to relax. Spend a day in bed if you need to. Slow down and be happy with all that you have accomplished. If reversed, though you have accomplished a task, there may be cracks in the trophy. When the Nine of Cups appears reversed, let it serve as a reminder not to become too proud or self-indulgent. This is called the wish card. The symbols are a man seated smugly before the cups. This is satisfaction. His arms are crossed. Guarded fulfillment. The meaning, you want emotional fulfillment, but you fear settling for surface level satisfaction again. Shadow is ego validation. I just want to win. Pleasure without depth. So your advice is choose fulfillment, not validation. And last but not least in our reading today, the outcome is the Page of Cups. This is emotion, embracing life, fresh outlook, and creativity. A youth entertains a group of foxes with dazzling shadow puppets. The Page of Cups is the most childlike of the pages. This card encourages emotion and creativity to bloom and encourages you to embrace life. Take full advantage of the little things and see the world through fresh eyes. Embrace and nurture your feelings in order to set free your inner child. If reversed, your inner child likely has had too much control. Bursts of temper or sadness may have caught up to you. You should be in touch with your feelings, but they should not control you. He's done standing up today, I guess. You may be frustrated by various creative endeavors or by the unpredictable events of your life. Return to reality and find calm solutions. The archetype of this is emotional renewal, new love, creative vulnerability. In the Rider-Waite, the symbols are a fish in a cup. This is a surprise emotional message. The blue tunic with florals is representing innocence, his youthful stance, and open-hearted beginning. The meaning behind this is not a return to the old. This is a new emotional chapter. It could be a new love interest, a softened conversation, a creative rebirth, or you approaching love differently this time. The shadow is naivete, ignoring red flags because it feels cute. Stay open, but stay discerning. I love Cash. Yay! All right. The overall shadow theme of this reading. All belief systems die. Emotional chemistry recalibrates. You reclaim your power. Movement happens. Someone walks. You choose fulfillment, and new emotional offerings begin. This is not a reunion reading. This is a rebirth reading. The spiritual message here is you were never meant to be the emotional laborer in someone else's transformation. I'm going to read that again because I know, myself included, there's a lot of people here that need to hear this. You, Bubble and Cash, and were never meant to be the emotional laborer in someone else's transformation. You had to do yours alone. They have to do theirs alone. And you need to not worry yourself with fixing them because you cannot. And you know that by now. All right. You are being moved from the emotional container into the conscious creator of love. All right. No ouches. This is, that's a fact. You knew that a long time ago, my dear. All right. All right. Let's see why it is that I said the reading worked for today, because there was a lot in there for me. I know there was a lot in there for a lot of us. All right, so homework card. Here we go. This one's a little different. We haven't had this guy before. We haven't had this guy in a while, I don't think. But you know what? It needs to be. All right, so our homework for the week is the Six of Pentacles. This is generosity, charity, balance, and reciprocity. A mermaid generously doles her wealth out to her sturgeon friends. The winds are charitable and camaraderie abounds when this card shows up. The coin cards preceding this one are omens of imbalance, but this card shows up to equal the flow of giving and receiving. Whether you are the one giving or the one receiving, know that everything is reciprocal and will be made even by the end of the day. While the suit of coins is often about wealth, this can easily speak to a healthy romance or other relationship. If reversed, the scales were not even. If you have been generous, you won't benefit from it. On the other hand, you might be taking advantage of someone, and such deed will not reap rewards either, financial or otherwise. There is a pronounced power difference being represented, which is worth investigating. The Six of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite. Wait, I'll get to that. The Six of Pentacles is the sacred exchange. The traditional images, you see a wealthy figure in red robes, a scale in one hand, and coins being given with the other, and two figures kneeling at his feet. The red robe symbolizes power, authority, survival root energy. This is someone who has resources. The scales represent justice, balance, karma, fairness. This is not random generosity, it's calculated balance. The coins represent material support, energy, effort, time, and attention. The kneeling figures represent vulnerability, humility, dependence, and power imbalance. This card is not just about giving, it's about power dynamics in giving. The archetype meaning is the benefactor, the patron, the sponsor, the one who has enough, or the one who needs the support. This is the archetype of resource flow, and it asks who has the power, who is dependent, and is the exchange equal? In a psychological lens, at its core, this card is about worthiness, reciprocity, transactional versus unconditional support, financial or emotional dependency, or control disguised as generosity. It can represent healthy mutual support or subtle manipulation through help. This is where we ask, is this gift free or does it come with invisible strings? Shadow side of the pentacles can look like love bombing through money, financial control. I paid this for you, so you owe me. Martyrdom giving and helping to feel superior, giving to avoid intimacy, or being addicted to being rescued and feeling powerless without a benefactor. The shadow question is, are you giving to empower or to control? And are you accepting crumbs and calling it abundance? The light side of this, when you become involved, is that this card is beautiful. It becomes mutual generosity, secure giving and receiving, community support, philanthropy without ego, empowerment through assistance, and I give because I have enough. The light version says there is enough we can share. In love, this is healthy expression, balanced effort, both partners investing emotionally and materially, support during hard times, and no scorekeeping. The shadow expression is when one person financially or emotionally carries everything. One person always chasing, one person always rescuing, sugar daddy / savior dynamic, and emotional allowance. The attachment style breakdowns in an anxious attachment, this is I'll give everything so you don't have to leave. In an avoidant attachment, it's I'll give you money or gifts instead of vulnerability. But in a secure attachment, it's I support you when you need it, you support me when I need it. No debt, no shame. In career and money, this can indicate a bonus, raise, investor, financial assistance, grant, or business partnership and fair compensation. Shadow side would be underpaid labor, exploitation, being financially dependent, our boss holding power over you. Ask yourself, are you paid what you're worth? When it comes to home and family, this is parents supporting adult children, one partner funding the household, or inheritance or financial help during a crisis. The shadow is financial guilt, conditional family support, and attitude of after everything we've done for you. Inner child asks, is it safe to ask for help? And the shadow child says, if I need someone, I'm weak. If someone gives to me, I will owe them. This card can trigger early experiences of financial instability, conditional love, being rewarded for obedience, or being shamed for needing support. The nervous system dynamics come when if you grew up with inconsistent resources, this card activates hypervigilance around money, overworking to avoid dependence, or panic when receiving help and shame around needing support. The regulated version, however, is I can give and receive without threat. This is a karma card. It speaks to what you give returns, energy exchange law, past life power imbalance, or learning just generosity without ego and learning to receive without shame. Sometimes this card appears when you are repaying an old energetic debt. The trauma, this card often shows up for people who overgive to earn love, attract partners who take, feel guilty receiving, feel safest when needed, or it appears when someone used money to control you. It asks, is your generosity trauma based? Here's your power dynamic check for you. Who holds the money, the leverage, the emotional upper hand? Is the scale truly balanced, or are you kneeling while pretending you're standing? In the Six of Pentacles, in its highest form, is reciprocity. In its shadow, it's transaction. Transaction says, I give so that I can get. Reciprocity says, we both contribute, sometimes in different ways, but we both contribute. This card is also about if this card is about someone in particular, they may be generous, helpful, resourceful, financially stable, or controlling, strategic with giving, and using resources as leverage. Watch the scales. If this card is about you, you may be learning to receive, learning to stop overgiving, ladies, being asked to trust support, or being called to share your abundance. Ask yourself, where am I overextending? Where am I under receiving? Where am I accepting less than equal? Your integration advice is to audit your exchanges. Who gives more? Stop confusing sacrifice with love. Practice receiving without apologizing. If you're the giver, give without keeping score. And if you're the receiver, receive without shrinking. Empowerment is the goal, not dependency. This card sometimes shows up when you've been giving more than you're getting, or you've been accepting help that costs your autonomy. Balance isn't about equality of amount, it's about equality of respect. Final essence for you. The Six of Pentacles is not about money. It's about power, worth, reciprocity, autonomy, and the courage to say, I deserve a balanced exchange. Yay! I can take off my glasses because they're hurting my face. Okay. So that was a lot, but it was a lot meaningful. And I think we are definitely getting the message and heading in the right direction. Now, receiving is hard. And it is hard. Receiving is hard. But that, again, and we've talked about this a lot. A lot of that has to do with how you were conditioned, how you were brought up, what you learned, what you were taught. If this is something that's in, we all give and take, everybody. And the problem becomes with the empathy and the control that we've witnessed in the past and been through and stuff. We find it hard to receive because, one, we're waiting for the, what are you going to pay me? How are you going to pay me back? Not necessarily, and I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about someone giving, expecting something in return, whether that's emotional, financial, or anywhere. And we've been taught that a lot of times we get burned in that. And then we're also taught to feel guilty. Oh, you should be the one giving. You got to give. Well, we have to sometimes give in different ways. Not always can we give financially, but we can give from our heart. We can give advice. We can give help. We can help the lady carry the groceries into the house. I mean, there's a million ways to give. Unfortunately, we get stuck in the fact that giving is monetary. Well, it's not just monetary. It's everything. We all give and receive. Just because you may be accepting financially or emotionally or whatever from someone doesn't mean that you're not giving back to them in another way. The problem has been for us in this group mainly is that we've been giving to people who don't give anything back. And I'm talking emotionally, physically, monetary, anyway. Oh, Michael's here. He's late as usual. Welcome, Michael. All right, so we have to start finding the balance. That is the big thing. We got to find the balance between the masculine and the feminine, the giving and the taking, the yin and the yang. We've got to find our balance. And when we find our balance and center ourselves, ground ourselves, we talked about that yesterday, ground ourselves, then we can start to give and receive on an equal, even keel. All right. Enough with those lessons. I want to tell you guys a story. And this is where I'm going to start crying. All right. So you guys know I've been in a bad place. I haven't been feeling very good for quite a while. And I've most especially over the past week to 10 days or so, really taken a dive south. And partly I realized that's because I haven't trusted myself. I have not loved myself. I have not trusted in my abilities. I have not given myself any grace whatsoever. All of the stuff, yay, story time. All of the stuff that I've been learning from my childhood, from the past, from last relationships, etc., has been bringing me down. But through that process, through that sitting with myself for long periods of time, I'm getting there, and I'm starting to realize that I do have a lot to offer. Just because someone somewhere couldn't accept it because they were too immature emotionally to deal with it does not mean that there's something wrong with me. And you guys know the same falls for you. Now, through this process, obviously Micah and Diane have been huge helps. But most you all know you got to do the work yourself. You can get advice, but you have to accept it, and you have to work with it, and you have to do your work. Through the process, I was close once again, and I know this has happened before, but I was ready to walk away, and this has been on and off for a while, that I've been wanting to walk away. Not thank you, Michael. I needed to hear that. But I've been wanting to walk away from these shows, not because I didn't want to do them, not because I don't love them, not because I don't love you guys, because you know I do. The reason was because I lost all confidence in myself, or I gave away all the confidence in myself. And I felt like I was a fraud being here, talking to you guys every day, trying to help you heal. And yet I couldn't seem to heal myself. So I felt like I wasn't doing the right things, or I had no business doing them. In the midst of this, last week, my neighbors drugged me out of the house because I was in a bad place. Well, actually, they didn't really know I was in a bad place at that point, but I let them drag me out of the house. We went to have lunch. And at the table that day, I did finally admit to them, look, because they said something about you never go out with, you never want to leave, you never want to. They were right. I didn't. And I finally told them it was because of how I was feeling, that I was extremely depressed and feeling very down on myself and feeling very lost. And that it had been, it's been a good 6 months or so at least that I've just been really, and you guys know how bad things got at Christmas and everything else. And I thought I was coming out of that, and then it was like something else and then something else and then something else. And then anyway, so I'm getting off track. We had a waitress that day who, after the meal, actually just plopped herself down in the booth next to me and started talking to us. And she was absolutely a delight. This girl was sweet. She was kind. She was beautiful. Young. She said, yeah, you were born this. Yeah, because they have to ID you still, even at this face, they still ID. And she, said, yeah, you were born the same year as my mom and stuff. And so anyway, she sat with us for a while and talked. And she had been through some really rough things. One of them I'm going to point out, I will not say her name because I don't want to embarrass her or call her out. One of the things that she had recently been through broke my heart. And that was, well, for one, she had been through the same kind of manipulation and crap that I had been through with a relationship and etc. So I definitely felt for her there. But also she had gone to get a job, and I don't know if Twin Peaks is a restaurant all over the place or not. So I will use, say, Hooters as an example because everybody knows what Hooters is. She had gone to get a job and they turned her down, telling her she was too fat for the job. And let me tell you, this girl was stunning. She was absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous face, not fat by any means, healthy, fit, gorgeous. Yeah, Twin Peaks does have very good food, but we also, if you guys don't know the restaurant, don't know, they're very scantily clad women. Sometimes they do come in lingerie and whatever. The pain that I saw on that girl's face almost destroyed me. I mean, I'm so tired of the misogyny. And, Diana and I talked about this on her show. I'm so tired of the misogyny, and I'm so tired of people being trampled because of appearances. When we all know that what's important is deep, deep, deep inside. And I'm so tired of everyone looking at us on a surface level and only taking in what they catch with their eyes and deciding from that view that you're too old, you're too wrinkled, you're too this, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too whatever, based on appearances. What good does that do us in our lives? Really? How we look? Men, guys, your hair falls out. Don't hide it. It's part of your maturing. Get a beer belly. So what? We get wrinkles. We grow old. We all do it. Some of us are chubby. Some of us are skinny. Some of us are what's considered perfect. But what is really perfect? I'm not reading that, Michael, because you're contributing. I'm just kidding. I didn't read the whole thing. I can't read the whole thing. So, all right. Anyway, so dad bods are sexy too. Exactly. Unfortunately for women, though, that becomes an issue. It becomes an issue because women are generally looked down upon as their looks fade. Men become mature and distinguished, and women become old and wrinkled. There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, well, yeah, we can go have plastic surgery and then bullshit. Shouldn't have to do that shit. Shouldn't have to try and change your appearances on the outside. No, don't be sorry. I didn't. No, you're fine, honey. Michael, I'm just playing with you. I just couldn't read the whole thing because unless you want me to read it out loud. Anyway, I will because I know you said something good in the end. And I'm going to read what you said. They do have some awesome food. I mean, the scenery isn't bad. You're correct. Even as a woman, the scenery's not bad. I won a gift certificate to Twin Peaks, and I took my ex there for lunch. And what really made me happy was here this, young thing in her lingerie is serving us, and all she could talk about was how cute my outfit was and how I looked. So I was like, yeah. Anyway, all right. So the scenery isn't bad. Yes, it's not okay. It shouldn't be about what you look like, but who you are. Being a white Southern male, a lot of the time that gets me cut out from a lot of conversations. It don't matter who you are, where you're from. You're not too short and chubby. You're not too old and goofy. I'm not too old and skinny. I'm not too wrinkled and old. We're none of those things. This is this. It's what's in here. But to make all this come together into something, like I said, I mean, I sat there and I talked to her at the restaurant about what she was going through and what happened to her. And I gave her my phone number. And I didn't expect to ever hear from her, but I did tell her about the shows, and I did tell her about what I do and everything. So I gave her my phone number, and I said, if you ever need anything, let me know. I never expected to hear from her. But this morning, shortly before the show, I got a text. Hi, this is you know who. I just wanted you to know I still have your number. I didn't forget about you. And I was just like, she goes, and thank you. And I about lost my shit. All of that stuff about me not being worthy of being here every day, of not being able to help anyone, of not being able to get through or to, not be able to do what it is that I love to do with you guys and for you guys because of my own insecurities was bullshit. I hadn't realized yet my own worth, and that regardless of whether I'm old and wrinkled or whatever I am, it's not what is on the outside that matters, it's what's on the inside. And I touched that girl, and she, and I talked to her this morning, and she, she had to go into work, but she her the link to this show so she can watch the fact, because, and then she does want to talk because she's had a really hard time, and something happened to her, and that meant everything to me, because I finally realized that I can touch somebody. I can help people with my stories, no matter how awful some of them are, and no matter how difficult they are sometimes to relive for me and to continue to go through. I always said, if it helps one person, it's worth it. And you guys are here every week, so I know that it's helping you, but there was just something that, I've known you guys forever and everything, and so it was just like, whatever. To actually touch someone's heart outside of here, and to have them hear me and appreciate what I did or what I gave to her through that very brief conversation, snapped me out of my whole I'm not good enough shit. And I'm here. I honestly, again, this morning wasn't sure about the reading. I wasn't sure about what I was going to talk about afterward at that point. And I didn't really want to, because I felt like I wasn't making a difference. And that I couldn't make a difference, because how could I make a difference in somebody else's life if I was struggling so hard to make one in mine? But I can do this, and you guys can do this. And we don't need to accept the bullshit anymore. It's time for us to stop that. Woo! Okay. Yes, it's time for us to stop it. Let me check out the chat here a little bit. All right, so Michael, it's hard for me to go on camera because of issues after being an addict. I have issues. Maybe if I put my glasses on, it'll be help. I couldn't wear glasses while I was crying. All right. Issues I'm too embarrassed to even talk about, but I'm trying to push through the shame of it until I can get it fixed. Those that ever used to know what I'm talking about, but it's been really hard to push through it because I know people see it, but I'm trying not to let it hold me back. Don't do it, Michael, because you're an amazing person. And regardless of what you've been through in the past, that's not you anymore. Remember, the past is just stories at this point. It's all stories. It's a story that we play over sometimes in our head, but it doesn't have to be our reality now. Bubble Kittens, you do help a lot, Carrie. You're fun and smart and wise and amazing. I love you. Thank you. Michael, you're beautiful as is. Never question that. Yes, you can. Talking about them helps another, and the more you tell it, the more it becomes what you went through, not what you're going through. Exactly. Thank you for the hug, Cash. And sometimes not even making a difference to the person in front of us, but through that person. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't necessarily have to be that person specifically. You could give information or give something to somebody that they could carry on and give to somebody else. Likely to others, and if not, maybe nature or creativity. And my Bubble Kittens. Okay, that's for Michael. Yes, that brought up something, Cash, that I think I pointed out. I don't know if it was on the messengers or not, but it was on my Facebook, and I had found this video, and it was this crowd. It was like overlooking this crowd of people. It was just all dark, and one person comes walking in, and they're completely lit up. And as they walk through and touch the people in the crowd, that light moves on until it fills up the entire crowd. And if that's what we do, then that's what we do. We touch one person and it gives them some light, then they can carry that on and on and on and on until it spreads. And so knowing now that maybe, I knew all along, I guess I just needed some clarity. I needed some ace of wands. Knowing that I was able to touch somebody and give her some light that she can pass on to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. That's all I needed. And that's all we all need to do. So, I can't cry anymore today. All right, we are moving on to who wants their shadow work for the week? Who's brave today? I know Michael wants one. I know he's in the shower and wasn't going to be able to chat, but I told him I would get him one, so I know he's listening. So here we go with the shadow. All right. Micah will take one. All right. Michael wants one too. Okay. First, Micah. Uncovering the shadow means acknowledging your deep personal sense of meaning and ethics. This clarity provides an opportunity to assess for alignment in daily living. What are some life values you consider meaningful, whether you currently live by them or not? What keeps you from living in alignment more often? He's got to get to Zoom. I know. All right, go. I know I'm running late today. All right, so Michael, I don't know if Bubble, Cash, anybody else that's listening outside, holler at me if you want your shadow work too. Michael, many cultures view commitment with romantic connection a righteous ideal and moral issue. As a result, you do not routinely examine unsavory beliefs about commitment without the personal shadow. What are your thoughts about commitment? How do you think you've been conditioned to view commitment by your social circle or culture? Love you too, Micah. Go get to work, man. All right. Bubble Kittens. I don't know if you asked for one or not. You're getting one anyway. All right. Shadow material can be difficult to recognize on a conscious level. It often shows up in small amounts, like your reactions to the behavior of others. When was the last time you felt strongly about someone else's behavior? How might this reaction reflect your shadow self or something you desire yourself? Interesting. All right, so Cash, my dear sweet girl, when you reach a new personal goal or career milestone, the shadow may show up, presenting self-doubt and risking your success. What was the last personal or professional milestone or goal you reached? In what ways did the shadow derail or attempt to sabotage you from being present fully in your success? I know I didn't mean to call you out on that card there, Michael, but I thought it was kind of funny. I'll call myself that. I'll give myself one. I'm not looking, cheating. Cultures and societies also have within them minimized and unhealed parts. This is known as the collective shadow. What are some thoughts or beliefs potentially represented by the shadow in your culture? Ooh, the misogyny. Did we not just discuss that? Are there sub-communities that illuminate, I love that that word is in there, the presence of shadow material? What is the mainstream response to these subgroups? There's a whole lot in that right there. All right, guys. That was it for the week, except for your meditation. This is your meditation. This is my meditation. This is the meditation for the week. May you know, I know this never shows up. May you know liberation. May you liberate yourself from suffering and find joy. May you liberate yourself from darkness and know light. May you liberate your body and find health and movement. May you liberate your thoughts and find dreams. May you liberate your soul and find your destiny. May you liberate yourself and live the authentic life meant for you. May you liberate your voice and speak your beautiful truth. And to that sweet, loving, beautiful waitress that we had, liberate yourself, baby. You do not listen to any kind of bullshit from that society that tells you that you are anything other than the gorgeous, sweet, kind, loving, and beautiful soul that you are. And I'm not letting society or anyone else in my life or otherwise tell me anything else but that from this point on either. I love y'all so much. 1 month for the people in the back. Come on, Michael. Exactly. All right, guys. Oh gosh, I don't even know about Voices on the Rise tonight. I'm sorry, and Heather's not here. If somebody in the room knows who's on, let me know if the show's going on tonight. Otherwise, we will see, Micah and I will see you back here Monday night at 6 p.m. Season 2 premiere. So if it's their season 2 premiere, who is she? Or is she? Anyway, let me know. Okay, so see, she's featuring. Oh, that is great. I love that. All right, so guys, hop on over to Rise Radio tonight, 6 p.m. Listen to Heathery. I think that is fantastic that she's going to be the feature. All right, and then Mike and I will be back. Oh, no, wait, I almost forgot. Diane, her new show, The Bloom, she will be here Monday morning at 11. And then Mike and I will be back Monday night at 6. And Michael will be here Tuesday for Brindle's Vision at noon. Wednesday is, Phoenix Talks. So I'll be here at 6 for Diane and Micah. Thursday, back here for The Bloom with Micah, Diane, and I. And then I will be back next Friday. Hopefully I forgot nothing. I love you guys so much. And I'm so thankful and grateful for you guys being here every week. You touch my life more than you ever even realize. So I love you. Have an amazing week. And I will see you very soon.
What's unseen now inside? What's unknown now ignite? Illuminate, illuminate,
Hey, this is Brindle Wolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise awakening, hear the call. Through the shining, we break the wall. Your station, your voice, where dreams awaken in blood. Rise awakening, now is the dawn.
Rise Awakenings. Let's rise together.